to call 988 the other day, and I thought I would just tell you what it's actually like. I've been struggling pretty severely with a lot of different stuff, and it's bled into my personal life from my work, and I don't know, I just spent a bunch of time in a dissociative fugue, so this is real life mental health happening right now. But when you call 988, it's kind of like the mental health version of 911. I mean, if they need medical intervention, they'll call it, but someone will answer and lend a sympathetic ear. There was a lady who asked me what was wrong. You know, I was crying, I was triggered, I was halfway between flashbacks and panic attacks, over and over and over again. And it's not, I think I might have called them once before. I ended up with a mental health counselor on the line, and they were very, I think the other one was a different number, but they were very sympathetic and good listeners, and I decided that it would be best if intervention people came out to the house. It did take them over an hour to come, but the woman stayed on the phone with me the entire time, and she was trying to find ways to ground me. The instant that something went towards a trigger, she was able to determine it and redirect. Very perceptive about that. Very understanding and positive in how she coached. When the people came out, there were two women counselors. One of them was a little bit harsh in the beginning, and I didn't realize that they kind of weren't mediators. They were there for the caller. So that was a little frustrating because we needed a mediator in the house at that point. But it wasn't working, and I was getting more and more upset and frustrated. So she changed her tactic, got way more encouraging and calming down, because when you're dealing with a flashback, especially with CPTSD, you could be basically talking to a child, being triggered. So they stayed. They both recommended some different things. They made a plan of who you're going to talk to and which hospital you would go to. And that wasn't so much helpful as just them being there on site, talking me through it. Calling 911 is, absolutely necessary in many situations, but they're not necessarily trained at all in mental health. And if they are trained, it's not experienced mental health people. So 988 was, I'm in the US. I don't know if, I know other countries have something similar sometimes. Don't know if it's the same number. But that's my experience with it. They kind of made sure I was gonna go to bed. I mean, they probably stayed out for a good hour or two. So, I mean, this was a lengthy talk to me, intervention kind of situation. And I was calmer by the end. My problems weren't gone by any means, but I was calm enough to go to the next step to kind of move forward with my life. And all that meant was brushing my teeth and going to bed, but it still happened. Because I just could not take any more stressors, and I was worried that was going to happen in the house, and there was no help for me. I was just triggered and on the floor crying for hours. But they came out and spent hours getting me back, in some semblance of control. I am still really, really struggling every single day and putting myself in a bad mental health situation to get through to the next step, because I don't know what the next step is going to be in my life. I'm still hating everything, but, 988 is there, and they will help. They're not gonna make fun of you. They're not gonna, like, dismiss you. So, use it. If it's not helping, I'm sure you could probably ask to talk to someone else or something. But it was worth calling, and it was, like, the only thing I could do other than go to the hospital. And I wasn't quite in the state to do that. But I could have been without an intervention, so I called, and that's what happened, and I hope they help you. So don't be afraid to call.